Good evening. This is Deathpunch Entertainment with your analysts Roberto Ford and Sean Spath. Here is our picks for UFC 231.
And we're going to go into detail for the main and co-main events, which feature Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Valentina Shevchenko, and also Brian Ortega versus Max Holloway. So Brian Ortega and Max Holloway. Brian Ortega is on a 14-fight win streak. He finished some of the best 145-pounders in the division. I think this is probably the toughest matchup for Max in the division, as a matter of fact, aside from Jose Aldo, but Max showed how good he can do against that style. But Ortega brings something very different compared to everybody else in the top five, is that he's a black belt jiu-jitsu person that doesn't depend on his takedowns. He actually depends a lot on his striking, which forces a lot of his opponents to go for takedowns, which allows him to execute his ground games and win submissions. I think a lot of people were surprised when he took out Edgar as quick and as smooth as he did, because compared to a lot of jiu-jitsu players who are black belts when it comes to their boxing, you see a lot of people like Damian Maia, who's a little more stiff. A lot of his punches are shortened in order to close the distance to gather his takedowns and go for single legs. Ortega's the complete opposite. He turns on every single one of his punches. He commits to his reach and his range. His shots are hard when he throws. He's not a lot of big timing shots. A lot of his volume, committed shots, and forces people to cover and commit for those takedowns, which he gets his submissions off of. And I'm excited to see this one. I think this is going to be the best fight of the night. And I think Ortega has a very strong chance of winning it. I just think it really depends on Max's game plan.
Max Holloway, our current champion with a current long streak of 12, longest in UFC history currently. Last loss was against Conor McGregor. He ran through Jose Aldo, but not once, but twice. He killed Anthony Pettis. This guy is an animal. I previously trained with him. He's long. He's large. He throws plenty of volume when he trains, and you can tell in his fights. What he needs to do against Brian is stay long, use his jab, pick his shots precisely. Max has been good at the takedown defense, especially when he fought Lamas. Even threw a couple of submission reversals against Lamas to get him off of him. What Max needs to do is use plenty of volume, but also avoid standing and banging like he did with Lamas. That could have been dangerous. He was winning that fight, and he could have just got caught, and Lamas could have won, but luckily that didn't happen. But he can't do that with Brian Ortega because Ortega has KO power, as we saw in the Frankie Edgar fight. Basically, stay long, Max, and use your jabs, your crosses, and the victory should be yours against Brian Ortega. Roberto, I think Max Holloway is going to pull out the victory on this fight. Unfortunately, Brian Ortega is very powerful, but I don't think he has the technique that Max Holloway has. Max Holloway needs to make sure he controls the distance, make sure he doesn't trade strikes between Brian Ortega because he is powerful and he has the ability to knock you out at any point. And Max can keep up with a consistent volume. I think it will gas Ortega out, but if not, it will definitely outpace him and pick him off.
I think Max is going to have a better time with countering on Ortega. I think the exact thing that plays into Ortega's strengths may actually end up being his weaknesses in this fight. Ortega's used to being able to commit and get a lot of reach off his punches, but with someone like Max, who's very long, he has very good lateral movement. If Ortega tries to come straight forward, I think Max is going to have straight counters ready for him. And he's used to having people commit to go for takedowns on him. And I think, Max isn't really going to want to try to go for a takedown. He's going to maintain his range. And once he starts seeing he can land the counters and get Ortega to cover, I think Max is automatically going to pull it out. But if Ortega can cut the ring off, mix in his level changes in terms of striking, hit the body, hit the head, force Max to cover, Ortega could possibly pull it out too. But I think Max may be the smarter one in this and have better cardio at the end of the fight.
Thank you for listening. Like, share, comment. Just help us get better at this. This is kind of short notice, and we're just going to try to progress and get better at this. Hopefully, we are able to do this consistently and follow our passion in being a MMA analyst. Thanks, guys. Have a nice day.